an extension to your contract. I'm sure you'll be pleased because talking to you, I get the feeling there's unfinished business here.
No, there's lots of, first and foremost, obviously the changeover of ownership is, or has just taken place. I think stability is the word that they want. They want to try and keep things going. They've only just stepped into the football club and they need time to look at everything, and stability for them over the next 18 months is vitally important. I also think that they see that the way the club is run, the structure of the football club is in good order, and they really want to build on what basis Jeremy has left behind.
We talk about stability. We also talked about patience the other week. We've seen in local clubs about stability. They've changed the managers quite a lot. Just having that continuity through the club is so important.
Well, I think it's more important at this football club as well because of the academy, because of the younger players that are coming through. I think, and it's my hope that over the next 18 months that we actually start to plant the seeds in these young players, and there is some talent in the academy that has to be nurtured, Dave. I'm not saying they're ready to go yet. We've given 3 of them the opportunity to train with us. 4 now. We've brought another. Rash has come in and has joined in with the training as well, and looks as though he could be a very good player. So I think it's very, very important that we do develop the club as a club right the way through. And I know John Williams, the chairman, is looking at different things to do as well. So it's just a case of trying to lay a very, very strong foundation again over the next 18 months for this club to push on and become a top 10 club, a club that can and have the depth in squad, which is very, very important, which don't think we've got quite yet, to have a real go at the cup competitions and finish in the top 10 of the Premiership. And I think, with that, then if we can keep the academy ticking over, if we can get the players in and playing games, then there's a bright future ahead, and that's very, very important.
You talk about the strength in depth. I mean, there's been a big turnover of the squad since you came in over the last 2 years. It's been a kind of a window by window approach, hasn't it?
Well, we again, if you look at the players who were, I can remember coming in and we had, I can't even say some of their names, but Varela, Samaras, and players,
Blanco.
Blanco, and Gamboa has gone, Pocanoli's gone, Cess has gone, Victor's gone. There's been a massive changeover, and we've brought in players like Fletch, Chadley, Evans, and they're the types of players, the real quality that we need to bring in, Dave. And I'm a great advocate of trying to get more quality, not as many, but more quality in. And if we can couple that with, like I say, the introduction of the young players that we've got at this football club, then hopefully, fingers crossed, things will grow, and they'll grow on a very, very strong and sound base. And football is a very, very insecure world, and that stability is not really seen as anything important in lots of clubs' eyes. But it's the way forward, Dave, if you can do it, and if people are patient enough.
You mentioned the young players, and you're the one that's given them the chance to play, but people shouldn't expect too much of the likes of Jonathan Leacock, Samfield in the first season. No,
I think they've Kane as well, who I think is going to be a very, very good player. No, they shouldn't think that they should be in there and play. They just training. Some of these kids we're talking joined the group when they were 16, but they have real talent, and that they need experience. They need to get used to playing week in, week out. When the window comes along, if we do bring a couple of players in, which we're looking to do and we need to, then 1 or 2 of those might go out and play regular football then for 6 months, and then we'll join the gang again at the end of the season. So it's nurturing them, Dave, in the right way. You don't overburden them, especially at a young age.
It's as tough a Premier League as it's ever been, I guess, this season. It's going to be a long season ahead, I guess.
Yeah, it's we're in a group of 10 or 12 clubs, all fighting to finish as high as we possibly can. The priority is to stay out of that bottom 3, and give us you know the opportunity and a chance again to just take small steps. You know, this club is it's not going to jump from there to there straight away. We've got to take small steps, and people have to be patient, and people have to understand that, you know, the club, and especially with the new Chinese owners, will be trying to push this club on, but they understand and recognise that and I think we have to understand that and recognise as well that they are not going to go and just waste a hell of a lot of money on signing players. They want to do it in a structured way, Dave, which keeps the club on a very, very sound footing.
The intensity of the Premier League doesn't get much more intense than Manchester City on Saturday?
Yeah, they're struggling at the moment, from what everybody tells me. You know, they're top of the league. They only just got beat by Manchester United by playing their second team on Wednesday night. So they'll play their first team against us tomorrow, Dave. So we know it'll be a tough game.
But it's important that we get the Hawthorns to be the sort of the fortress that it was, perhaps the first sort of 6 months when you came in.
Yeah, it'd be lovely to do that. But I do accept that, you know, we have to give them something to cheer about and something to have a go at, and you know that is one of the you know, one of the things that we've talked about behind the scenes. You know, we need players that especially at home, you know, people who are going to be exciting players, who are going to create chances and create opportunities. But it's difficult to get those players, Dave, and it's something that we're working on and trying to get. In the meantime, we have to make sure that every time we play that we have a go, and I think bringing Chadley in, as people have seen the quality that he's got, but just improving step by step. And, you know, I ask the supporters to be patient and stick behind the group. I don't think this season, you know, how many games we played, 10 games or whatever, I don't think there's been one game where the players haven't given everything, and I mean everything. And even, you know, being 2-0 down on last Saturday at Anfield, a lot of teams would have crumbled, Dave, second half against a team that you know, they're an excellent side. We've got a front five as good as anybody in Europe at this present moment. And we showed the resilience and the togetherness and also the passion to really, really have a go, and you know, we could have got something out of the game in the end, Dave.